was a dark start for hundreds of athletes in Richland this morning. After months of waiting and a few days preparing, the Ironman Tri-Cities race hit its inaugural stride. A wonderful welcome, officials say, is expected to generate millions in economic impact. KEPR's Dave Furtado is in the thick of it all today to tell us more.
Bright and early Sunday morning, over 2,000 athletes welcomed the sun, lining up at the start of the first leg of the 2024 Tri-City Ironman, the 1.2-mile swim.
It's a downriver swim, which means we get a little bit of a current assist, which is great for people who are a little bit less confident in the water.
That's Juliette Hockman. She's a coach who's also running her first Ironman since surgery. Before then, she won her age group at the World Ironman 70.3 Championship twice.
So I'm just hoping to have a good swim, a good bike, and we'll see what the run lays out for us today.
Now the course, 70.3 miles around the Richland area. The swim, the shortest part.
The swim is probably what I was most confident about being a swimmer, but yeah, it went really well. I think it went a little better than I was anticipating.
Athletes are going to be really excited to get out of the water, particularly if they aren't swimmers, get on the bike. You know, you have this feeling like, oh, I'm already a third done, even though you're not really from a time perspective.
At 6:30 a.m., they were off. After that 1.2-mile swim, athletes exit the river at Columbia Point Marina Park, where they race through to get to the sea of bikes so they can claim theirs and start their second leg of the journey.
3 out of the 4 hills are the first 15 miles, is not to get after those hills too much.
And one of the most worrisome hills over the 56-mile bike portion, Duportail.
There are going to be athletes who are going to have to stand on their pedals, get out of the saddle, be in their lowest gear, and really grind up the hill.
It was good, you know, it's actually quite nice to get out of the saddle and not just be sat in the aero position the whole time, so it makes a good change, really.
Exactly what I was thinking. The hills were pretty hard, but when you're surrounded by a bunch of incredible athletes, you just kind of rise above it together as a community.
Unbelievably great crowd support out there.
Hockman also made note of a group of spectators during the final leg of the race, the half marathon.
A little place where you pitch up a little bit to get up onto the berm, and there's a whole bunch of mostly young women, I think, holding these beautifully made signs and cheering and screaming. They're just putting on a show for every single runner who came by, which is so nice.
No, it's a nice run. It's scenic. It's good that you get to see people as well, so you sort of have an idea where you are.
Luke Tasker came down from Vancouver, Canada, one of 18 different countries with residents participating. He finished first overall in just under 3 hours and 53 minutes. His half marathon time, 1 hour and 18 minutes.
I had pretty major cramps setting off, so I popped a few salt tabs straight away and then just got to work, settled down.
I think a lot of it for me was just making sure I was staying on top of my hydration, my nutrition.
Pasco resident Julia Merrill adding the outpouring of support from spectators also played a role. But despite all the praise, folks around Richland were frustrated by the road closures and traffic buildup. Officials say they worked with the city and law enforcement to mitigate impacts, adding they'll be gathering feedback to take into account when planning the next 2 annual races. For KEPR Action News, I'm Dave Furtado.
Other winners, Scott Ludford in 2nd overall and Ryan Lewis in 3rd. The top women finishers, Haley Menez with a time of 4 hours and 32 minutes, followed by Lauren Courtley and Stacy Crawley in 2nd and 3rd respectively.